right, so today we're looking at Venn diagrams and two-way tables. So still looking at our topic now of probability. So just a couple of things we're going to be aware of when we're dealing with some language today. So Venn diagrams are when we have the two circles, as you can see below, and a two-way table is a table. It just helps us arrange and organise our outcomes and different categories. And these are the two samples we have below. So both of these diagrams show that there's 12 people that own both a Mac and a PC, and that's where that middle bit is, okay? And that's where that is. Then it's saying that there's 62 people that own a PC. All right, now bear in mind that this is combining the people who they didn't use the word only, and that's where you just need to be very careful with this topic, is that it includes the people who also own a Mac, so hence how they get the answer of 62, and that's where that answer comes from in the table. Then they're saying that there's 57 people that do not own a Mac, okay? There's 57 people that do not own a Mac on that side there. So that's how we can find that, and that includes obviously the people on the outside. And then this is when we deal with the probability. All right, so let's actually get stuck into it. This is probably the best way to tackle these questions, is actually to do some examples together. So first thing is really read the question carefully, because there are some things that can catch you out. So a survey of 30 people, so now we know my total is 30 people. 21 like AFL, 12 like soccer. There are also 7 people that like both AFL and soccer, and there are 4 that like neither AFL nor soccer. Now they've asked us to create a Venn diagram. This is where normally we do actually have the template already made for you. So draw 2 circles that overlap each other the best you can. And we're talking about AFL, so I'm representing A for AFL and S for soccer. Great. The 2 you should always put in first is your intersection, so where the overlap is. How many people like both AFL and soccer? Well, there are 7 people that like AFL and soccer. They've also told us that 4 people like neither sport, and they go outside of the circle, hence why the 4 is not in part of either of the circle. Now I'm going back to what the questions actually said to me, because they've told me that there's 21 that like AFL. But did they use the word only? No, they didn't. So that 21 actually includes the 7. So 21 takes 7, gets me 14. So that means only 14 people like AFL only. Same thing with the soccer. They told us that 12 people like soccer, but they didn't use the word only. So that 12 includes the 7. So that means there's 5 people that only like soccer. So be very careful, because if you went 21 plus 7 plus 12 plus 4, you wouldn't get 30. So that's where you need to just watch out for that. But if you now go 14 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4, you get the answer of 30 people. So you can actually check to see that it adds up, because they've told us they surveyed 30 people. Now we can actually answer our questions. Now the first question, part B, is asking us how many people. They're not asking for probability. So how many people like AFL or soccer? Okay, how many people like AFL or soccer? There's 26 people that like AFL or soccer. We then go to the next question. How many do not like soccer? All right, how many do not like soccer? We've got 30 people in total, minus the 12 that like our soccer. So therefore, that leaves us with 18. How many only like AFL? Only, see the word, they've used the word only. So how many people only like AFL? Well, there's 14 people. Right. That's all they're asking for that question in B. With C, they now use the PR at the front here. That's your hint. They're looking for probability with that. So what's the probability they like AFL and soccer? Well, there's 7 people who like both out of a possible 30. how many people like neither AFL nor soccer? So that's the 4 on the outside. So that's 4 over 30. And you can simplify that to 2 over 15, but you don't need to simplify in probability, so you can leave it as 4 over 30. That's okay. And you won't be marked down if you don't simplify. I would probably more encourage you not to simplify so you don't make the silly mistakes in your test or exam. What's the probability they like soccer? There are 5 people that's like soccer, and they've used the word only, so that's why it's 5 over 30. And that's about it. Normally the Venn diagram, 2 or 3 marks, and then a mark for each of those above there. Good. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense with our Venn diagram. So let's have a look at a two-way table problem. All right, car yard. 24 cars are tested for their fuel economy. 18 cars run on petrol, 8 cars run on gas, 3 cars run on both petrol and gas. And they want us to put it in a two-way table. Once again, we typically do like to draw the two-way table to at least give you the structure, so it saves you a bit of time in a test. So we've got petrol, not petrol, we've got gas, and we've got not gas. I'm just abbreviating to make it a bit easier and a little bit less time consuming. Now I'm just drawing my table together. Got our total there. Okay, so now what we need to do is we now need to fill in the information we have. Start working with what we've got. So the information I've been given is that I've got 18 cars that run on petrol, and these are my totals. So I've got 18 cars that run on petrol, and then I have got a total of 24 cars that they've tested for fuel, so that's my total. 8 cars run on gas, so 8 run on gas. And then what I've got is I've got 3 cars that run on both gas and petrol. So that's the information they've now given to us, and now we need to kind of fill in the blanks. So I'm just going to do it in a different colour so that we can see where I'm getting my numbers from. I might do it in that green colour. So 3 plus something gets me 8, so that's a 5. And then we've got 3 plus 15 would get me 18. I've got 18 plus something to get me 24, which is 6. 5 plus something to get me 6, so that's 1. 15 plus 1 equals 16. So then you fill in the gaps like that. Well done. Now we simply go back, very simply, once again, 2 marks probably for the table. Now we go back to our questions, and this should be the more straightforward part. And now they're asking us how many cars do not run on gas. So how many cars do not run on gas? There are 16 cars that do not run on gas. Run on neither petrol nor gas. There's only 1, so that could be like an electric car. And then they've asked us to find the probability that a car is randomly selected that runs on gas. So what's the probability that a car runs on gas? There's 8 out of a total 24 cars. What's the probability that it only runs on gas? The word only, that's a 5 out of 24. And runs on gas or petrol, that gets me 23 out of 24, because there's only 1 car that doesn't run on petrol or gas. Hopefully, by looking at how my answers came out, you can see where I got them in my table. And that is how you work the two-way table. All right, so I wish you all the best for answering the question.